Since the NBA's foundation in 1946, we have seen some of the greatest athletes of all time lace up their shoes and step onto the basketball court, demonstrating their talent and skill, night in and night out. But there are only so many players who have made as big an impact to be considered for this list. Welcome to Who's Number 1. In this video, we'll be counting down the top 10 basketball players of all time. But before starting, let's see if you can guess who is going to be number 1. Let us know your pick in the comments section below. Now, with that said, let's get to it. Number 10, Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is one of the greatest players ever to step onto an NBA court, there is no doubt about it. We can talk about the way he impacted the game and the culture of basketball, we can talk about his 5 rings, his MVP award, his 18 All-Star team selections, and so on. But he was not always the best player on his team. In a career that spanned from 1996 to 2016, Kobe was Finals MVP only twice out of 5 times, and that was later in his career, when Shaquille O'Neal wasn't on the Lakers anymore. He was also not too efficient, and had a high usage rate. Yes, he won just as many or more titles than most players on this list, but the catch is, those players were actually the best on their team. For many years, Kobe wasn't. Number 9, Shaquille O'Neal. The most dominant player ever could not be left out of this list. Shaquille O'Neal is one of the most skilled bigs ever to touch a basketball, and the beauty of his dominance was that even if you knew what he was going to do, you just couldn't stop it. We may never see a center as big as Shaq be as explosive, athletic, and quick as he was. He truly was a one-of-a-kind player, and easily one of the most entertaining, both on and off the court. In a career that spanned from 1992 to 2011, Shaq led the Lakers to 3 consecutive NBA championships alongside Kobe Bryant, winning the Finals MVP each and every time, and won another championship with the Heat. Aside from his rings, he also won an MVP award. Number 8, Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was a model of consistency and excellence during his career with the San Antonio Spurs, which lasted from 1997 to 2016, and he helped the Spurs become one of the most successful franchises in NBA history. A 5-time champion, 3-time Finals MVP, and 2-time MVP, Tim Duncan consistently put up numbers like he was a robot, with the personality to match. He's top 10 in rebounds, blocks, win shares, and defensive win shares, but it's his playoff excellence and overall longevity that helps elevate Duncan above the more physically and athletically gifted contemporary power forwards like Karl Malone and Kevin Garnett. But in the end, his quiet and dignified manner is what earned him the most praise. Number 7, Wilt Chamberlain. Nobody changed the game like Wilt the Stilt did. Wilt Chamberlain owns records no player will ever come close to eclipsing, such as averaging 50.4 points per game for a season, 22.9 rebounds per game during his career, scoring 100 points in a game, and grabbing 23,924 career rebounds. In a career that spanned from 1959 to 1973, Wilt was a 4-time MVP, 2-time champion, and 1-time Finals MVP. He is usually not taken as seriously as others due to the era he played in, but you can only dominate the competition in front of you. Because of Chamberlain's domination, the league widened the lane, outlawed players rebounding missed free throws before the ball touched the rim, changed the definition of offensive goaltending, and forbade inbounds passes over the basket, because it was an automatic alley-oop to Wilt every single time. Simply a game changer. Number 6, Bill Russell. Bill Russell tends to be grossly disrespected when talking about the greats, again because of his era, but no player on this list comes close to what Russell accomplished: 11 NBA championships. Not only is he the greatest winner in all of American sports, Russell is also both the smartest and best defensive player to ever pick up a basketball, as despite blocks not being tallied back then, he reportedly averaged anywhere between 8 to 12 of them per game. Playing from 1956 to 1969, Russell was also a 5-time MVP, but he never won the Finals MVP as the award hadn't been introduced yet. Number 5, Larry Bird. Nobody was as lethal a scorer or as clutch at the end of games like Larry Legend. A 3-time champion who won 3 consecutive MVPs, Larry Bird was the ultimate shooter before the 3-point shot became popular. He knocked down daggers like it was nothing, and loved ripping out the hearts of his rivals while talking some of the most underrated trash. He also made ridiculous passes, had a knack for seeing everything unfold seconds before anyone else on the court, and always made the key play that either sealed the deal or keyed a game-defining run. If he hadn't injured his back, it's staggering to think what else he could have done, since he was never quite the same after it. But it didn't stop him from averaging 24.3 points and 10 rebounds per game from his debut in 1979 until his retirement in 1992. Number 4, Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson simply changed the game of basketball when he burst onto the NBA scene in 1979. Just think about how incredible it is that, as a point guard in his first season in the league, Magic started Game 6 of the NBA Finals at center and dropped 42 points. He played all 5 positions on the court and led the Lakers to their first title in nearly a decade. This was just the start for Magic, who completely changed the way the basketball world looked at guards. He won 5 championships, 3 MVPs, and 3 Finals MVPs, but on top of it all, Magic made the game fun, and that's what made him so special as a player. He and Larry Bird literally saved the league in the 80s, and there's no arguing the influence they had on the game. Despite having to retire due to HIV in 1991 after only 12 seasons, the captain of the Showtime Lakers set the standard for greatness at the point guard position. Number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The only player ever to win 6 MVPs, a 6-time NBA champion, a 2-time Finals MVP, the NBA's all-time leading scorer up until some months ago, the inventor of the most lethal shot in NBA history, and the only player ever to win an MVP despite his team not making the playoffs. Oh, and his longevity is practically unrivaled. In a career that spanned between 1969 and 1989, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar split his time between the Bucks and Lakers and became a 19-time All-Star who finished in the top 5 of the MVP voting 15 times. Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest center of all time, and it's not even a debate. Bill Russell might have more titles, Wilt Chamberlain might have all those untouchable records, but Kareem was offensively skilled in ways Russell never was, and retired as the league leader in 9 statistical categories, thanks to an impressive staying power Chamberlain couldn't match. Abdul-Jabbar wasn't physically dominant the way Wilt or Shaq were, but his fluidity was something special for someone his size. Number 2, LeBron James. LeBron James has done nothing but to live up to the massive hype that was placed on his shoulders coming out of high school, and he not only matched the hype, but he exceeded it. 4 NBA championships, 4 MVP awards, 4 Finals MVPs, and almost 40,000 career points, being the NBA's all-time leading scorer. Not to mention his more than 10,000 career rebounds and assists, ranking 4th all-time in assists, being the only player in the top 20 not to be a point guard. LeBron was drafted in 2003 at 18 years old, and now almost 39, he is still one of the best players in the world. There is a reason why he is King James. His 2016 performance, when he led the Cleveland Cavaliers back from a 3-1 deficit against the 73-win Golden State Warriors, may be the single greatest achievement in NBA history, and will be hard to top. From dropping 41 in back-to-back games to the block in Game 7, LeBron leveled up that year, and his book isn't finished yet, as he will continue adding to his accolades. And we cannot forget what he has done off the court. From opening a school in his hometown, to building his own media empire, LeBron has consistently done everything we've expected from him, and even more. After all that's been said, LeBron James should be the greatest of all time, and he would be, if it wasn't for. Number 1, Michael Jordan. You should have been expecting this one from the start. Of course Michael Jordan is number 1, this guy won 3 rings in a row, left to play baseball, then came back to win 3 rings in a row again, and then came back one more time to become one of the oldest players ever to average 20 points per game and to score 40+ in a game. All in all, he gave the Bulls 6 championships in a decade. But it's not just about basketball. Jordan became a massive celebrity, he became the guy every kid wanted to be when they grew up, he revolutionized the league, and he became one of the richest athletes of all time. Michael Jordan set the standard for greatness in the NBA. He never played in a Finals Game 7 in 6 appearances, always winning the ring on or before Game 6, and won 5 MVPs and 6 Finals MVPs, along with a Defensive Player of the Year award. In a career that lasted from 1984 to 2003, he played at the highest level on both sides of the floor and never took a game off. No guard has ever dominated the league like he did, and we can strongly assure there will never be another Michael Jordan. The winning, the endorsements, the shoes, the legacy. His impact on the game of basketball was huge. He popularized the sport like no other and brought it to a worldwide audience, and his relentless work ethic, killer instinct, and unmatched competitiveness set him apart from the rest. So, do you agree with our number 1 pick? Do you agree with the order of the list? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you have enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like on it, and as always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our weekly top 10 videos. Thank you for watching. This is Who's Number 1. See you next time.